It is time to add some color to our cardinal and our background. I'm going to be showing you this with watercolor, and whatever you have in front of you today, it will work. The first thing I need to do is make my background. Before I paint or color the branch or the bird, I'm going to be doing the background. And this line that we drew here across in the background, this bottom area here is going to be snow or winter. We're going to leave it white. And so I want my background up here to be blue. Now I'm using watercolor and I want it to be a light blue, so that means I have to add lots of water. In fact, you can add water to your paper first and then add the blue and smear it around. This is called the wet technique. So by adding water to our paper first, then adding paint, we're doing wet on wet. If in this area here, I just put the paint right on the page and it was dry, and that is wet on dry. And we'll get different kind of textures or looks for your watercolor. So you can see the two areas, wet on wet and wet on dry. And I want to really try to make mine look like sky. So I'm going to kind of let it kind of take it on its own life, adding water, dabbing, letting it kind of bleed into the next area. Add some water to your page, add some paint, and it'll kind of take on a life of its own and move a little bit. We're going to paint all of the background a nice light blue. You could do this with colored pencils. You can do this with crayon by being very soft or even using a sideways crayon to color it in. You could use a light blue oil pastel. And if you have a light blue marker, you could use a light blue marker. The sky is going to take some time, so go ahead and work on the sky for a little while, but I'm going to move on to show you the bird. And we're going to leave the bird dry because we want a nice bright red. We're going to mix, if you're using watercolor, you're going to mix your paint really thick because we want a nice bright red for this, using a little bit of water. And I'm going to paint underneath his wing a little bit darker than the rest of him to kind of show maybe a shadow, and maybe underneath his tail also a little bit. And he's going to be a nice bright red. His mask will be black and his feet can be yellow or any color that you want, and we'll paint our branch brown, and we're going to leave this snowy bottom here white. We're going to keep on adding color to our bird. You can change the value of the color by adding more water if you're watercoloring, or pressing darker or harder with your crayon. And this is all we're doing today, adding some beautiful color to our cardinal.